My Erin Condren order arrived. So this is not going to be like a true unboxing because I already technically opened the box and looked through, make sure everything was here. But I am going to like pull everything out and set it on the table and then move this big box out of the way. Okay, I'm gonna go over all these things that I picked up from my Erin Condren order for launch for 2025-2026 and share what planner I picked. But first, if you're new here, hey, my name is Lauren, and on my channel, I share tools and tips to help you on your self care journey. Planning is one of the things that I absolutely need to do in order to keep my head on straight. I have been in this planning world and discovered Erin Condren in 2021 and I've been an affiliate for a little while. Getting a planner during launch is always like exciting and fun, but it's not something that I always do. If you have been around for a little while and you can go back and see my stack videos over time, I share what planners that I'm using. You'll see that I don't always get an Erin Condren. And actually, the Erin Condren planner that I ended up picking out this launch is not the same one that I got last year. Last year, I got a daily duo and have been using that daily duo and will continue to keep using it until it ends at the end of June. But I picked up a weekly planner for the first time from Erin Condren in a really long time because of this new layout that they came out with. If you've been around for a while, you know that my weekly planning situation has been all over the place because I've been trying to figure out a system that works for me where I can have like the weekly layout the way that I want it. And up until now, Erin Condren hasn't had a planner in that type of layout, but they finally did it. They finally made something that actually is like, oh my God, I need that one. That is what I've been waiting for a really long time. I'm really excited that they finally did it. So, first, I'm going to go through the accessories that I picked up, and then I will go into the planner. I also am going to note that I did purchase my daughter a hourly life planner that you don't see here. That's going to be in a different video. So if you want to see what the hourly planner looks like, a 12-month hourly in the Bouquet design, then check that video out. Okay, so I turned off my ring light because the lighting situation when it comes to packaging like this gets glary and I don't like it. So let me scoot this over and I'm going to show you this first because this is not something that was with launch as far as like a new cover option, but it's something that came out last year during the teacher planner launch. And I've been wanting to get this cover for a long time, but I haven't been using a 7x9 Erin Condren. My daily duo is an A5. So they only had this cover option as a 7x9. So I finally picked this one up and plan to use this with my life planner at some point. I might actually start using it with this cover and take out the one that I bought it with. This is like a bold blooms style floral from last design last year. I really liked the bold blooms. I wasn't too crazy about the bouquet design this year, although you saw I got a bouquet cover. I'll explain later. But this is a cover that I picked up. It says beautiful minds inspire others. Washi tape fan in the bouquet. Ooh, interesting. I haven't had one of these. This is washi paper, and these strips are, they're this long. But at the very end, you have, oh my goodness, so many colors. This looks so cool, guys. I'm about to set this on the, oh my gosh, wait. Is it gonna stay? That is so satisfying. Hold on, I gotta fix this. That is so cute. These last last six strips, I should say, are long washi strips as opposed to short ones this way. Hang on, I have to take a photo of this. I don't think I've ever stopped my video in the middle of it to do something like that before. That was a first. Okay. So obviously, I got bouquet stuff. So I'm not against the colors of this. I did not like the fonts in the bouquet. So these are 1.5 inch strips. Yeah, more or less. So these will fit in the boxes. We'll see how much use I get out of these. I was thinking this would be really good for my month spreads. I use my monthly pages to list out the high end appointments, and then I only refer to the month whenever I'm writing in a new appointment or when I am planning my week. And then I only look at my week view and I don't look at my monthly view like all the time because that would stress me out too much. I was looking at my entire calendar for the whole month all the time. That's one of the reasons why when I found like the planning community in 2021, it had such an impact on me because for some reason, like whatever way I was doing my calendar and like keeping up with the appointments and all those things beforehand, shifting it to the way I've been doing it now is has made such a difference in like my mental headspace that I consider it absolutely 100% part of like the self-care things that I do in addition to like the yoga every day and making sure I sleep and have designated times for not being on social media and that kind of stuff. So 100% recommend weekly planning and not just the monthly planning. Anyway, okay, this is a very new product to Erin Condren. This is their magnetic bookmark 3-pack, and I grabbed the pastel. And I've seen a couple of videos already of people, and I am kind of wishing I also would have got the ocean set, which was 3 blue colors, like a navy, a teal, like a darker teal, and like a blue. But the reason I got this one was because I like this color. I mean, I also like the ocean colors, but I was like, I need that color. Okay. Oh, wow, this is a strong magnet. Oh, that's so cool. I have experience with only one Ollie clip, and I ended up not keeping it. It was a collaboration with Cloth and Paper. I think it came in like a sub box. So this has a magnet, very small circle magnet right here. I don't know if the camera's picking that up. So it has a little circle magnet right in the center. So that's the only spot where the magnet is, which is interesting because all this time that I've been seeing videos, I thought that the magnet was much bigger, like a more of a rectangle, because there was another version Erin Condren had of these that was like a cardboard that came in a surprise box, and that one had a thicker, had like a more rectangular magnet. So this one only has little circle magnets in it, but they're strong. And look, they're like, oh, we repelled. Let's play. Oh, okay, stop playing. If I turn it around, it'll probably connect. Yeah. So look at that. They're all like, that's cool. I wonder how many you can stack before it's like not connecting. But these are supposed to be super strong magnets. It says it's supposed to hold 20 pages. So we'll test that out in the Life Planner in a little while. But yeah, this is cool. It has like a similar feel to like the plastic, the vinyl that's on like a Ollie clip. And it kind of smells plasticky. Cool. Okay, I got a dashboard in the bouquet. Bouquet or bouquet? Do you say bouquet or bouquet? And I bet you I'm going to say it both ways. And probably have already said it both ways and I haven't realized it. So I got a dashboard, and now look, me and dashboards are hit mostly miss. I was gonna say hit and miss, but mostly miss. I like this one. This is different because they don't have a week on the back. This has just a checklist with circles, and this is like a gold foiling. It says notes. It's got like a bluish green color in the back. It says priorities, goals, reminders. Just got the floral print for the bouquet in the bottom. That's it. I like how simple this is. I like this edition. I'm pretty sure this wasn't on the dashboards from last launch, but this is a snap in. It snaps right into the coil of the planner, and these are really easy to snap in and out. I I th- I'm not sure yet how I might use this, but I wanted to grab one because it doesn't have this on the back. It doesn't have like it used they're used I think this is the first time that they've made these to where they don't have like a week in the back. And I think because the ones before had the week in the back, I kind of felt like, well, if I'm not going to find a purpose for the boat for both sides of it, then I'm not going to use it. Also, it does kind of become a little annoying to have to write on this with a special type of pen because obviously this is meant for like a wet erase. You could do a dry erase, but I wouldn't. You can also use a Sharpie, but if you're using the Sharpie, you have to use like alcohol to wipe it off. And then with the wet erase, obviously you need to use something wet to wipe it off. So I think I might use this as something I might do for like a monthly as like a monthly basis because then I won't have to clean it as often because if it's something I do on a weekly basis, that's going to get annoying real fast to clean it. And I think that's been the issue in the past where I've tried to use dashboards that would be like on a weekly basis and mm, I don't know. So I think I might try and use this one to be something that I only write on like once a month and like have like a running checklist for the month, maybe related to content. I'm not sure. We'll see. Universal snap-in sticky notes. So this is another new thing that they have been doing this year is they have only launched this and that's it. There are no other color options. This is the only kind of sticky notes if you want to get snap-in sticky notes. I kind of like this trend that they're doing with the whole let's make everything more universal as far as design goes because it makes it to where you can keep using it year after year, even when designs change, because otherwise you're going to have like clashing patterns. For example, if you had the floral pattern from the bouquet, not bouquet because we don't have one, from last year's bold blooms, if you had like that and then the year before you had wildflowers, if you still had leftover wildflowers when you got like a bold blooms planner, then like the flower prints kind of clash with each other because one, the colors are a little different, and then two, they're literally different flower designs. You're less likely to use it moving forward. You know what I mean? If you don't end up using it up. And also, too, from a business standpoint, I think Erin Condren is kind of like, hey, how can we make products that are a little bit more evergreen that are not just only good, as in like it matches the designs for that one season. So I think that's why with this launch, you're seeing a lot less. Let's put the designs that we did on all the products um, and more just neutral things that can match anything. And it actually works out better for us, I think, in the long run, because then if we buy something that has just a neutral thing, then next year, whenever they come out with something else, we can just pair our new planner with the neutral thing and it work fine and not feel like, oh, well, this doesn't match. Now I have to spend more money and buy the new design. You understand what I'm saying? So I hope that makes sense. Let me know in the comments if you understand what I'm saying. But this also snaps in and it's made of the same type of material as their snap-in ruler that comes with the planners. See, this sticky goes about here. And then these are sticky on the side. This looks like it'll fit in a monthly box. And this is a really long strip. It goes like here. It sticks about halfway. I was just thinking this is going to be a really cool dashboard once these are all done. and I can take once I've used up all the stickies, I can continue using this snap-in dashboard with other sticky notes. Like I can put some post-it notes on here and then continue to use this snap-in part, this plastic. I know other people have done this as well in the past, but this will work in both the A5 size and the 7x9 size planners. They had rechanged the sizing a couple years ago, but new this year is the whole colors thing. But look how good all these colors go together. Cute. Okay, now the life planner. So those were the accessories I got. The life planner sampler pack was a free gift with purchase when you got a life planner. I don't know, I've been seeing conflicting things where some people have said that they received a life planner, or maybe one person I saw, they said they got one of these sampler packs even though they didn't order a life planner. So I don't know how true that is, and I honestly don't know how if these are still in stock. I'm guessing they should still be. And I think these are only being given away to EC insiders. So if you are not an EC insider, you have to become an EC insider first, which is free. It doesn't cost anything. It's just like a way for you to collect points whenever you place orders so that you can then cash in your points in the future. Plus, sometimes we have special discounts, like sales that are only exclusive to EC insiders. And then we also are given like opportunities sometimes to order before the general public. So those are just some of the reasons to be an insider. So this is a sampler pack that they did last year and they decided to bring it back. So it just has a bunch of samples for the whole 2 months of May and June so that you can use this as like your planner before your July start planner begins, because these life planners we're buying now don't even start till July. And usually I don't buy during launch because, again, the planners don't start till July. However, this time I got an 18-month planner. So I'll explain a little bit about why I bought now and what that has to do with it in a second. So this has all the different layouts and all the different colors so you can kind of see. And it also has even a productivity month page, which we've been calling this a dashboard page for a long time, but that's not what Erin Condren calls it. They call it some like kind of productivity page. So we're going to keep going with that. If you need like a month calendar to go along with this, in the life planners for this launch, they've included a May and a June monthly calendar, just the monthly calendar, which I think has to do with the fact that they came out with these last year. And even me last year was like, hey, this is cool, but I wish I had a monthly to go along with it. And there you go. They answered that with this. So you can play around with this and test out all the different layouts. Every week will be something different. And it tells you on here what they are that you're planning in. So if you're like, oh, what's this, about? So this obviously is like a daily duo. It says daily for that, and you'll get like all the pages for the whole week. And then we get into June. So it jumps to all the different designs and layouts, which is fun to kind of test out and play around. And I think I did play around in it last year, and I'll probably play around in it again this year just for funsies. But this comes with the life planner only while supplies last. Also new this year is they changed up the packet that they give you with the life planner. So they used to include a perpetual calendar, which would be tucked away in the back pocket of the planner, but that's not included anymore with your life planner, every life planner. I guess enough people have voiced to Erin Condren, why do we need a perpetual calendar every time we buy a planner when the purpose of a perpetual calendar is supposed to be to reuse it all the time? So now perpetual calendars are only included if it is your very first ever and you're brand new to Erin Condren, never purchased from them before. That's the only time you can get one of those. And then you're also, when you purchase a life planner, you're getting this now. And this I am super excited about. Black jewel tip markers. I don't like using color in my planner, so I don't ever really buy the jewel tips. I have bought the black pack when they used to sell like a 3-pack, and I love those markers. However, they had stopped selling them at some point, and then they made it to where you can only get a black in a pack with the other colors. And I'm like, I'm not going to waste my money. I just want the black. And now they're including a black marker with your life planner purchase. So I'm excited about that. I really hope that they continue to keep doing that. And I hope that they also continue, I hope that they eventually offer this as something you can buy, because this I don't think would last all year if I use this as like my only pen in my planner. I would definitely need to get more. Okay, so here's the pen, and it feels a little different. This feels different than the other dual tip markers, but hang on, let me. No, they don't feel different. I went and checked to see with another dual tip that I had from the spring bundle. They had like 3 dual tip markers in there that came in that, and Erin Condren had gifted that bundle to me. I will leave a link in the description to that video where I talked about that. It was in my last haul video that I shared. But the one side it says medium tip, and then the other side says fine tip. And I like how you can put the cap on the back. Not all Erin Condren products like have that thing, but this one definitely does. So you can do that. And right, I have this written out over here on the side. This is what the medium tip looks like. I wrote bold tip, and this is what the fine tip writes like. And I wrote like an example. If a way to use it would be like use the thicker tip for something you want like more attention to, something more bold, and then the finer tip wrote next to it, like if I was writing this appointment in my calendar on the month view. So then you also are getting this year, instead of compliment cards like years past, you're getting postcards. So this postcard says hello. And it says sent with love, gratitude, friendship. That's cute. Place to put your stamp. So cute. Then you've got another postcard. It says friendship is a gift that lasts. Same thing on the back. You get a coupon on the back of this one for 20% off, and it's valid only till the end of March for 2026. So you likely would not be able to use this for next year life planner launch unless Erin Condren decides to launch in March, but typically it launches sometime in April every year. So that is what comes with the life planner, including the stencil bookmark. Yeah, you get a snap-in stencil bookmark. The stencil bookmark was new last year, and honestly, I didn't even use it. Me and stencils, I just don't use stencils. I don't personally like the way it looks to draw things out. But this is probably the one that I would use the most, because if you have a highlighter, you can make sure the line is straight. But I am pretty good about drawing a straight line without needing to use a ruler. So I just don't even bother. Okay, so the life planner that I got, I don't know if you can tell, but this is a thick boy, because this is an 18-month. And you're thinking, Lauren, what the heck are you doing getting an 18-month life planner? Well, I'm thinking I'm going to be able to start using it early, because the dates for October of 2026 and November of 2026 match up with May and June of 2025. So I will be using the month pages in those two tabs to plan my weeks. And because Erin Condren started offering the May and June calendars, I have a May and June monthly in the very front of this one that I can use as my month to reference. I also am planning on using a lot of the extra pages in the back, because by the time like I'm done with this one at the end of June. There'll be new planners that have launched for next year, so I won't really need these in the back. And it only costs $5 more, which if you think about it, the math on this is kind of silly. It costs, I don't know what, $65 or $60 to get the life planner, but then it only costs $5 to get 6 months of planning pages. It's like it easily could cost 30 because that's half of the price of a planner, but it only costs $5. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get pay the extra $5. That way I can start using it now because I'm currently in a um, weekly planner. I'm gonna say weekly planner crisis situation where what I have been doing, I've tested something out in April. If you saw my quarterly stack, you know that in April I was going to test something out and that hasn't really worked very well. I didn't know when I made that video that Erin Condren was going to come out with this layout, so I'm excited. This cover comes I think in like 4 different colorways. This is like the wallpaper bouquet. I love the like colors of this, and I thought this color would look really good with these tabs. Also, hold on, let me show you. You guys are not going to believe me when I say this, but I actually used Canva to like take screenshots and then put this onto like a life planner like this so I can see how well these colors looked with the gray tabs, because I've had this in the past. Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what color tabs you get. You're going to run into like, is that cover going to coordinate with the tabs? Because the planner cover doesn't cover it. You're always going to see the tabs. So you I'm always very conscious of that. And this looks really cute. I think it coordinates well. Like this color, something in here is almost the same color as those tabs. So yeah, that's cute. Okay. Look, I'm finding like these are the little circle thingies that come out whenever the cover gets put on the planner. It's always fun to find those randomly in the box or in the planner whenever you get a new planner. So these covers are interchangeable, obviously, because I just showed you the other cover, because these snap on and off in case somebody's new watching this wondering, why'd you get another cover? How are you going to take the other one off? There you go. They snap on and off. And I got the dashboard layout in the new minimal design, which we were told as an affiliate that the focused line is no longer, and this design, this minimal design, is replacing Canvas, and which Canvas was like the minimal design for the last 2 years, and then Focus was like a completely different planner layout. Those are no more. So this is kind of replacing it. And some of the font choices in here kind of give me the Focus collection vibes, which I've always liked the fonts in those. I really like the font choices in this, which is why I ended up picking this version of the planner. So minimal, there's nothing here, nothing here. It's literally just gray paper, and it says 2025, 2026. This is what the calendar pages look like. It's Sunday start calendars, mini calendars from July 2025 all the way to December 2026. Here is a page that a lot of people refer to as like the 12 boxes page or like the goals page. You can break this down into the 12 months of the year if you want to, or you could, in the past, I've done where I've used this to kind of pre-plan whenever I know when appointments are going to be. That way I can just have it all here as opposed to actually putting it on the monthly. Even if I put it on the monthly on like a sticky note, it's not about like I'm afraid to write it down. It's very convenient to have it all right here so that if, for example, I'm like, when is that appointment scheduled for? I can just turn to this page and see that, oh yeah, I put it under March or whatever, and find it that way as opposed to needing to like flip through all the tabs in the planner to find out when did I make that appointment. I hope that makes sense. Some people like to use this to like break down their goals per month. And I know like Kristen Kramer likes to do breaking it down by quarter. She's done that in the past where she's used this column as Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4. And this will be January, February, March in that order, so that it's like this is from one, this is another, if that makes sense, as opposed to January, February, March, April, May, June. Some people do January, February, March, April, like going all the way across. So, endless possibilities. You can even use this to break down like sections of, I guess, different projects or areas of life and that kind of thing. You don't have to separate it by months, but it's open to however you want to use this. I'm not sure how I'll use this or if I'll use it. We'll see what I end up doing. So here is the May calendar, and I'm looking at this planner for the first time with you. I did, like I told you, I opened the box, but I didn't really open everything. So this is my first time looking at this. Before I go any further, let me let you know how big this coil is. It's about an eighth shy of 1.5 inches. So it's not even a 1.5 inch coil. Here's my daughter's 12-month planner. That one's 1.25 inch. Let me show it to you side by side in case you're wondering. And neither of these have extra add-on pages on it. They're just the months, because you can get add-ons to these. So you can kind of see the difference there and how thick it is. Let me take that off. Okay, back to the month. Let's see. So here's May, and then June. Then you have just a lined page, and then July. So this is the only lined page you have in the front of the planner before the actual planner starts. So this would be something that used to in the past be right behind this page. It would be this. So I was thinking this is a good spot to list out like an annual goals list for the whole year. You could even purchase probably stickers from shops, and I would purchase like an A5 size sticker. Even though it's a 7x9 planner, you can get like an A5 size sticker and stick it here and repurpose this so that it can become usable functional space if you want to use this to do something, because this might be another way to maybe map out some goals for the year. Maybe do like 2025 for the rest of 2025 and then 2026 over here, because you can just finish out this year and then January you can start again, think about what your goals are going to be and then put that on this side. I don't know, just thinking. Okay, so the tabs on this planner are very simple. It just has the month here and it's a gray, and it's like that for all the months. Show you all the tabs. Actually looks pretty cool. In the past, I think the last time I used the weekly Erin Condren, I got some kind of like a habit tracker sticky note, like for the month, and stuck that here on this page so that I had like some dedicated space where I could track that sort of thing. Since this planner is very limited on like notes pages, like you have this at the end of every month, like before you get into the month, you always have this. But if you need more than this, you've got that. And then you also have this page, but we'll talk about that in a little while. So there's May, there's June, and I'm not going to continue because you already saw what July and the rest look like. So the planner actually starts with the weeks right here in July. And you might have saw a peek earlier. If you haven't seen any videos about this, this is one of the changes they've made for this year as well, is to this productivity page. A lot of people have been calling this the dashboard page. I don't know why we've been calling it that, but since this is a dashboard layout planner, we need to stop. We need to not confuse ourselves and call this the productivity page. That's what Erin Condren calls it. So they did a little switcheroo thing here, and I like it. I have never really been able to figure out a way to use the way it was before, because there used to be a big open box here that was just blank and no lines. And then down here used to be a dot grid section. Again, I like lines. So I like that they've revamped this and they gave us like a to-do list here. I like the font choices here. I like how it's lowercase here. And you've got plenty of space. So you've got 4 bullets And then here you have 8 lines if you include like writing on this top one. And if you include writing on the bottom, that would be like the eighth. Otherwise, it's like 7. And then you've got 1, 2, 7 lines here if you include like writing on the bottom. Otherwise, it's 6 if you don't write on that very bottom. And then for the to-do list, you have 21 items, which is a lot for a to-do list. And then you have a lines page over here. So that's awesome. I'm probably going to do a different video where I just go over this planner by itself and explain like how I might be using this. I don't know. Maybe I won't. I'm not sure. But here's the layout. I am so excited about this. It's been so long since I've used a neutral Erin Condren planner. It's This is nice. This is nice to have just gray, and then I can pick whatever color I want to add to the page. Let's test out these bookmarks. So let's see how many pages this can hold. I'm going to go ahead and just grab the no problem here. And this is not that many pages. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And these tabs are always like a thicker cardstock than the actual paper. And the paper, by the way, is 80-pound Mohawk paper, in case anybody was curious. Let's see if I do like 2 months. 2 months of pages, and I don't include that. That way it's just one card stock. Maybe not. Yeah, I can't not do the middle one. So let's see. Well, it's not falling out, so it can hold it. That's cool. This would actually work really well as a substitute for a binder clip. You know what I'm talking about? The ones that have the metal and then you have to squeeze it to clamp it to grab all the pages. This would work well. Instead of using that, you can use these if you don't want to use it in your planner. I could see myself using that like that instead of not necessarily having to use it in the planner, but just clipping a bunch of papers together. This is cool. And if you wanted to, you could make it to where it sticks out a little bit. So that this is not flush with this, and it could stick out a little bit so you can actually reach it and grab it if you wanted to do that way. So you can see the tabs sticking out at the top. That's kind of cute. All right, those are good, strong magnets. Okay, the layout. All right, so you have the month, and see how this one starts with June and then it goes into July. So they do like a June to July situation here whenever there's a change. But otherwise, it has the month, and then it has the holidays are going to be on this side. If there's a holiday, it's going to be listed right here in this space. You've got 5 lines. You could be 6 if you want to write on this gray, but technically it's 5 lines for every single day. It goes Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then you have an extra line over here. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines here that you can use however you want. I would probably use this as like a next week thing and list out some things maybe for next week. Maybe. I'm not sure. Because I always like to have in my daily planner, there's like a white space. And I usually in that white space every day, I list out like what's going to happen tomorrow. So for the week, it would be nice to have something where, let's say, not necessarily what the schedule is next week, but just kind of to remind me, maybe there's something important happening on the Monday for the next week and I need to be prepared for it. I might want to indicate that here to be like, okay, this is happening. Remember, this is happening tomorrow. That way I can be ahead of it in case I don't do my weekly plan for the next week. A lot of times I wait. I usually on Fridays will plan for the next week. But if I don't and I wait till like Sunday last minute or sometimes even Monday, it's like, okay, I need to know what's going to happen next week. This is the new layout. So this is replacing the compact vertical. They had the compact vertical, I think, for like 2 years. And they decided because of, I guess, customer feedback that they could make improvements upon it, and this was a way for them to improve on that. Because this looks a lot like the way the compact vertical looked like, except the compact vertical was spread out on these 2 pages. So you would have like a big chunk here and here for the 4 days, and then 4 more blocks here, and it would be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then a note space. So now they've condensed that even further to be only on one side of the page. And now you have a whole another page to list out notes and to-do lists and all that. So you're not limited to only writing in the days, which I like. This is what I've been wanting, something where I can have lots of space for to-do lists. So this box is blank. It has a label that says priorities. This says habits. So you have enough space for 6 habits here. Or you can use this for like a frequency tracker. That's the phrasing that Laurel Denise uses. I've heard her say that, where you can track how frequent are you doing things. So maybe you're not trying to make it a habit to do something every single day, but you just are curious to know, like, how often am I doing that thing? I could, like, for me, I know with reading, that's kind of something I like to keep track of, where I don't necessarily want to force myself to be reading every single day, but it's nice to know, like, hey, am I reading? How often am I reading? And to have a spot for me to read, to indicate when I read is great. Also journaling too, like how often have I journaled, and then marking it in here to kind of see how often how often am I doing that. You've got to-do lists sections to check off with circles, 7 on this side, 7 on this side, and then a huge notes section, 13 lines. That's a lot of note space. So I have lots of ideas for how I want to use this, but I think I will save that for a different video. So basically all this, same thing, and it goes all the way 18 months. If you want to do add-ons, the options, I'll pop them up right here. You can do line pages, which the planner already comes with some. So at the end of the calendar, you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10 in here, which is interesting because when I counted my daughter's 12 months, she had, I think, only 5 pages. So there's 10 in this one. This is an 18-month. So that's a lot of notes pages. Then you have your heritage and awareness observances page. So if you do an add-on, it's going to put those pages before this. So you can have add-on for notes, which will just put more lined pages in here. You won't get another notes tab. You'll just have more lined pages. And then the other option is a productivity, which is a different type of a note page. I'll pop it up. And you also have goals pages you can add. And new this year for Life Planner launches, the budget pages, which predominantly is a spending tracker sheet for you to log your transactions. But it also has like savings trackers and debt tracker pages. So those would go in this space right here at the end. And then the heritage and awareness observances. These are not listed in the actual monthly pages of the planner. So they're here in case you want to add them yourself. You need to reference when they are. They're back here. This is so that they can keep like the monthly pages clean. And they only really have on the monthly pages like the Christian holidays, the US holidays, and the Jewish holidays too. This one is a context page. Oh, I love the font. I really like this font. Then this is your like future planning page. So you've got January 2027 all the way to December. So if theoretically I was using this planner all the way till the end of 2026, then I could have this here to like jot down when all the things are moving forward, so that when I do get ready to move into my new planner for the new year, I already have all these dates listed out. And that's the end of the planner. Then you have some stickers. So they've redesigned these this year also. Obviously, this is a neutral planner, so you expect neutral stickers, but in the other options, they're also neutral. So these are the exact same stickers, and this color is what you get in the floral design, the bouquet, which matches these. So these are going to match really well with these stickers that are in the back of here. This first page is a foil, rose gold foiling that's on here, the shiny parts. And then this one has some gold foiling, a lot of today, this week, to do, reschedule, cancel, habit trackers, some dollar bills. They revamped this page, the celebrations page, so that these are a little bit more updated. So happy birthday, and these are gold font also. Celebrate, let's party. And then you have in silver foiling, you've got these labels, which are great for your monthly pages. I think that's how I would use those in the month. And then you can write on it with these. These work well on their stickers. And then if you, for whatever reason, need to move something, usually these are repositionable. You can carefully take them off. I don't think I've ever had any issues with that. Then every planner comes with a pocket folder. Again, this year they did away with having the different designs for each different version of the planner. So all of them have the same color blue pocket folder, which I'm here for because I like this color. This is like one of my favorite shades. It's almost like the same color as this. So cute. So that's the back cover. And then you have, this is what the inside of that back cover looks like. You can write on here with a wet erase, and then the end. I don't think I mentioned here in the front, but you can also write on here too. You can use a wet erase marker, which Erin Condren sells those, or you can use a Sharpie marker and then just use alcohol wipe to clean that off. I will say that this vellum page is I have a theory that this is here so that it doesn't rub, whatever you write on here, that marker doesn't rub onto this page and transfer over. Because in the past I've used a monthly planner from Erin Condren, which is different than this one. It's not a life planner, it's a monthly planner. It doesn't come with these vellum pages, and I've written on this, on that, and over time the color transferred onto this page. So just know that if you write on here, it might potentially transfer on here. I don't know though, because this is like a different material than the paper. This feels, you might, I don't know if you would be able to clean it off of here if it came off of here. But just, yeah, I just wanted to point that out because Erin Condren makes these so that we can actually use it and write on it. And in case you're wanting to write on it, I just want you to know that that's been my experience in the past with that. Anyway, that was my order from Erin Condren during launch. Let me know in the comments what you ordered, if you got your order yet, if you are waiting to place an order, because obviously it's still pretty early before the July calendar planners start, and which layout you plan on getting, which design you plan on getting. If you are intrigued by the new dashboard layout, what your thoughts are on it, if you are going to stick with whatever you've been using for a really long time because you know it works for you, or if you're planning on trying out the new dashboard layout. Let me know in the comments. Again, if you haven't placed your order and you would like to support an affiliate from Erin Condren, if you would like to support me, then my link is in the description. Let me know if you do use my link. Send me a DM on Instagram. That way I can track your order. We've been having a little bit of issues lately with that, so please let me know if you do. That way I can make sure I track it, because the sales that we receive through our links is one of the ways that Erin Condren kind of knows like how much traffic we're sending to them, and is information and data that they can use to help determine if they should send me products to review in the future. So that's very helpful to me if you let me know. If you don't use mine, use somebody's affiliate link. There's plenty of other creators and affiliates from Erin Condren that would love your support. I purchased all of this stuff with my own money. Erin Condren did not send me anything during launch for free. I was not one of the affiliates that received a launch box. So I wanted to show you these. If you have any questions about these items or any of the other items that they launched, I might be able to answer them, because we were able to talk with Tanya with Erin Condren before launch to get a lot of questions answered about products. So if you have any questions at all, feel free to drop them in the comments or send me a DM over on Instagram. If you want to see more content like this, then make sure you're subscribed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.